glimmer of hope in the race to locate that submersible near the wreckage of the Titanic. New overnight, we have learned a rescue aircraft detected underwater noises in the search area yesterday, but so far a search there has yielded no results.
Here's what we know. The submersible lost contact about 2,500 meters below the surface. That is more than 5 times the depth of the deepest successful underwater rescue on record, which happened back in 1973.
Now we know one of the people on board is Hamish Hayting. He is one of the founding members of the Explorers Club based on the Upper East Side, but time's running out to save him and the 4 other people on board.
So what happened here? Joining us now is David Marquet, a former U.S. Navy submarine commander and retired captain, to try to get some perspective on how all of this is unfolding. Captain, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm curious, through your lens and your expertise here, I know that this Titan had some safety precautions in place for something that maybe would go wrong, and then it would sort of trigger those safety precautions to then engage. The fact that we still can't find this thing at this point in this, what does it tell you about what could have went wrong here?
Yeah, that's very troubling. I fear a catastrophic failure which has incapacitated the crew, because if they lost communication, their protocol would have been to go back up to the surface, fix whatever the problem was, and then try again. They haven't appeared at the surface, so I'm thinking they're down on the bottom in the vicinity of the Titanic. Something caused the ship to go to the bottom and not be able to come back up to the surface. Now, if the crew were still okay, let's say they had a power failure and they simply sank to the bottom, then you would think that the crew would be banging on the hull, they would be making mechanical sounds, they'd be making human-sounding sounds. The ocean is full of sounds, dolphins, whales, shrimp, faraway oil wells, these kind of things. And what the airplanes are trying to do is they drop these listening devices. We call them sonobuoys, but they're basically a line of ears, and we're listening, in particular for those human-sounding sounds that could be caused by humans. And it sounds like one of the airplanes last night heard something. We triangulate and say, okay, it's coming. It looks like it's coming right from here. Now, there's a couple ships that have ROVs, remotely operated vehicles. We go send the ROV over there. Now, it can only look at a very small area, but it has a camera, so we can actually see what it is. They didn't find anything.
Okay, so with your expertise, what happens next? We know that this area is vast, the size of Connecticut, the search area. So what are they doing right now? Talk about those rescue efforts.
So you can think of it as 2 search areas. There's on the surface, hoping that the submarine made it back up to the surface. And so these planes are searching back and forth. They have radar, and then during the daytime, they're also simply using their eyeballs, looking out the window, trying to see the submarine. Now, you would think, well, that's pretty easy with a radar just to see a submarine. But remember, there's a little bit of wave action. And if you put like an egg in a pan, and you see it floating, it's like right at the surface of the water. So it doesn't stick out a lot. And that's kind of what they're looking for here. The other search is at the bottom. Now, this is generally in a much smaller area because it probably wouldn't have gone too far away from the Titanic. The problem is, on the bottom of the ocean, you cannot search very far, very fast. And we don't have very good tools. It's pitch black, so you need a little ROV. It's got a light. You can't see very far. So you're basically, it's like taking a magnifying glass and walking down a football field, looking at blades of grass on your hands and knees. That's how painstakingly those bottom searches go.
I mean, that's just such a vivid description of the challenges that these searchers are facing. Let's talk about the crew members. If somehow, some way, they are still alive in this capsule. We now understand that the oxygen levels were set to run out in less than 24 hours, maybe about 23 hours. But that's if all the conditions were sort of expected. Can you just describe what they may be going through if they are somehow still with us down there, and what those conditions must be like that they're facing?
Yeah, let's hope so. So 5 people inside this capsule the size of a minivan. You can't get in, you can't get out. The hatch is bolted on top, so they can't even open from the inside if they were to get to the surface. It's very cramped. There's no seats. You're sitting uncomfortably on the floor. There's a little curtain. There's no real bathroom. There's sort of a Ziploc bag that you would use if you had to. And the big problem is, because we're humans, we're breathing in air, using oxygen, and we're exhaling carbon dioxide. So we're depleting the oxygen levels. They have scuba tanks where they can bleed more oxygen in, and they're trying to regulate their oxygen, calm themselves down, reduce any kind of physical activity they're doing, other than have someone banging maybe boom, 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 boom every 10 or 15 minutes or so. The rest of them ought to be calm, sleeping, reducing that activity, reducing the oxygen they use, and reducing the carbon dioxide that they're exhaling, because that's slowly poisoning them.
We only have about 30 seconds left, but I'm just curious, because you were the commander of the USS Santa Fe. The Navy, I mean, people think about, why don't you just go down there and start searching with all these contraptions? But the Navy doesn't even have something when you're talking about 2 miles deep to do an extensive search, right?
There's not really a military reason to have the capability to operate down there. There's really not much down there that the military cares about. Everything is up on land or in the first, like we operate only 10% as deep as where these guys are going. So that's very specific. Research ships are designed to go down there, but it's not something the military is designed to do. The Navy does have this winch system, which they've flown out to Newfoundland, that they can mount on a boat. It has a long cable. It could go down, and it's designed to pick things like this up. And it has a design to pick up something that's heavier than this, deeper than this. So if they can find it and they can get that winch out there, there's a chance they can pull it up.
Oh, let's hope for a miracle. Those minutes feeling like hours. Former Navy Commander, thank you so much, David Marquet, for joining us and really shedding some important light on this incredible story.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.